what we've been talking about is, just kind of the idea, when you walk in here, there's 80 different people from a bunch of different, verticals within construction, but also a million different backgrounds, right? Like people come from higher education or technology or being a firefighter, or, so many different backgrounds. But there's something cool and unique about what grounds us as construction people, like what makes us really fit in, what makes us connect to the industry. And so for me, it was like, growing up in that kind of blue collar environment, my dad being a steel worker, like I spent, years of my early career, like in technology in a corporate environment. And then I made this crazy decision to like take the leap to go into construction. Like immediately, I just felt like it was home. Right. And so, because of the people, it's like everybody I worked with was just like me, pretty much, different backgrounds, different journeys, but like pretty much the same. And so I would just ask you guys, like, how long have you been in the industry now?
2.5 years.
Yeah. So in 2.5 years, you certainly look like you feel at home here, right? Like, you feel like you fit in, you work for a great company and great people. What makes the industry unique to you? And like, what is it that's become most passionate for you being part of the construction industry?
Yeah, I think it is the people. It's the long-standing relationships that they have with each other in the community, vendors, customers, the repeat people, and then this network that's so unique to it that they're not alone. And being newer to the industry myself, my background is with people as a youth pastor. And so that networking, resourcing, relationships, planning together, there's obviously a lot of coordination in the construction industry. And that's been evident at K&L and the needs that are there. And so I feel at home with that, the ability to organize and see the logistical pieces.
What's the most transferable skill of being a youth pastor that you've used the most in construction?
I think conversations with people, asking the right questions, listening, getting down to the bottom of what's really going on, kind of behind the scenes. It's not just the symptom, but there's something greater to solving issues and creating those opportunities.
I asked that for my own curiosity because, for me, faith for me helps remind me that people are broken, that we're all broken. And so, it helps a lot with the patience of, all the things that happen in our industry, and realizing that, it's all going to be okay no matter what, right? So that's got to be something that you inherently have from being a youth pastor, right? Like you're just used to, kind of working through those things with people. And then when you can do that in business, I always joke around and say, business is really simple until you involve customers and employees, everything is like such an easy plan. And then you involve people and it all, goes haywire because they've got their own backgrounds and troubles and, new kids, just life that's happening behind the scenes, right, of everybody's life that is business. How about you, man? What is unique about the industry to you? Like what kind of connected you to it? And then, what are you most proud of to be part of it?
Yeah, I mean, with the pavement industry specifically, I liked it when I got into it because I realized how archaic it was. And the fact that I had so much room for opportunity to grow, to grow personally, professionally, build a company, provide a service that people hadn't really experienced. I mean, they've had their parking lots taken care of, they've had their concrete repaired, but they haven't had it done with an experience behind it. That's just been transactional. So it was something that I saw as a lot of opportunity to grow. And selfishly, I mean, I think we all can say that we want to do something where we actually make a difference and have an impact. And so when you're getting into a space that has so much room to grow, well, the opportunity is there for you to take. And so it was something to just jump into it and go for it.
Yeah, I also think it's interesting, I don't think anybody gets into this industry, just for the money.
I did at first. I had bills to pay.
But there's also a different passion that comes along with it, right? So it's, and because in all reality, it could be any industry. The industry, of course, if that's what's in front of you, it's actually what Keith Sr. said. I got in it because it was the best opportunity for me to earn income, but you also have to have a passion behind it. But the opportunity for income and to build a career, I just can't think of any better industry to be able to do that regardless of your background, regardless of your experience. And so, for those people that might be, watching this online somewhere, dude, it doesn't matter where you come from. If you've got work ethic, good values, the ability to adapt and overcome, you stay calm in a storm, like, dude, you're going to do really well in construction.
Yeah.
And I know guys that had no experience that showed up in this industry that, end up making 7 figures a year because they've figured out how to create an experience out of something that doesn't normally have it.
Yep.
And so it's like, how do you be different in an age-old industry? It's the same thing that excited me, dude. When I came in, I was like, I can't believe nobody's figured out this, and this yet. Like, it's this industry that needs so much innovation that, most people don't try to innovate it. They just try to, grab what they can out of what's already existing. But there's so much space for innovation and doing things differently. Bill, you grew up in the industry. You probably watched construction from the time you can remember, right? And so, the industry's probably changed a lot, as you've watched it grow. What is it that makes you most passionate about it? And you're, unique in this situation. Like, your dad, started the business, but like, I know how passionate you are about that name, about like, making Ryman, known not just in construction, but also in real estate. So what is it that connects you to the industry and keeps the fire burning for you to continue building what you're building?
Yeah, man, I've talked about it being, like in the past, obviously growing up in it. I hated it. I'm not going to lie. As a kid, because I was a laborer growing up my whole life. I had to do the hard work.
Instead of the silver spoon, you got the rusty spoon.
Never got a silver spoon. Got a very rusty spoon. Let's put it that way. And but I love it now. And part of the thing, and I've talked about it, is we're bringing people's visions to life. Like, literally, like these people that have worked so hard throughout their lives, like the people we see in this building working hard, yourself, everybody. Like, we all have visions of our dream home, right? And we're bringing those visions to reality, these things that, these houses that people, and the best part of it is when we deliver the home too, they're like, this was what I dreamed about, man. I never, we wanted this open water view. We wanted to see, now we have it too. We literally dreamed about this. So, I mean, law of attraction is real. All that kind of stuff is, in my opinion, real, obviously. And we're doing it all the time now for people. That's probably the most amazing thing to me about what I do. And what I love about it, too, is just the final result. It's hard. We talked about that, how hard it is. And it's a lot of work, but that work's worth it in the end, for sure.
Yeah, it makes you think, dude, like, because different but the same, like a driveway that gets paved for a family that, the little girl or the little boy is wiping out on their bike because it used to be gravel or it was just shot, or, the facilities manager that we work with that we can get home to their dinner table faster than they would working with any other contractor, not worrying about it because, Proline or the pavement group or K&L is doing their parking lot, and they don't sweat it, That's the same thing as what you're talking about. It's like in a different way, you're making a dream come true, right? And that is, it all comes down to people. It's like that people connection is really what drives the whole industry. And what I personally love about this industry the most is like everybody has that in them. That's where I was going with you. Like, you might have got in it for the money, but the people are what keep you here, right? And the people are what, kind of attracts you. Like, okay, well, I can get that money, and I think I can do it with people that I actually enjoy doing it with. And so that brings me to a quick question on leadership. What is the most difficult part of leadership for you?
I think it's the accountability with people. I can tend to be so relational and want to slow down and listen and have all the patience in the world, but I'm quickly understanding that it takes boldness and tenacity and to get after it, but to come alongside in a way that is helpful, that helps them to see the end goal in mind, that we got to get this, and this in order first to be able to accomplish this. And so, again, it stays very relational and focused on the people in the business. And yeah.
So being a youth pastor has its benefits, also has its drawbacks. You're a little too patient sometimes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
I think I would probably echo that accountability is the hardest thing because, kind of like you were mentioning, we all care about the people. The people in the industry is what keeps us here, the relationships we build. And so when it comes time to have to hold those people accountable, I mean, if you have half a heart, you don't want to hurt anyone, especially when they're trying, but you got to hold the line. And it's not the fun thing to do it. That's why there's, typically a lot less leaders and more followers.
Bill gets to do it with his family, so it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. Yeah, I think the hardest part was, basically determining myself like how to say it to my family that there's one leader. You helped me out a lot with that too, as far as like making myself known as the leader of the.
Yeah, there can't be two, man.
Yeah, and being able to tell them that, but not feel them or not make them feel any less about themselves, right? And taking on that role, it's hard. It is hard with family because you have a big vision. Maybe the other side of your family doesn't have that big vision either, too. So having to push everybody in that same direction or pull everybody in that same direction, sometimes challenging, but I think we're doing it. I think we're doing a good job at it. And yeah, man, it's been
just takes a lot of arguments.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much. Literally a lot of conflict.
A lot of conflict, yeah.
Next thing you know, you're on the right track.
Yeah, we're going.
It's the hardest to fight with your family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a wrap.
We're good.